On April 20th, around 7 a.m., I was at the well washing my clothes. We saw many motorcycles coming, followed by big trucks. Some people said we had to run away. I said that it wasn't necessary because they are our army, not jihadists. Their job is to investigate and to find the jihadists and liberate our country. Indeed, the villagers welcomed them with respect and shouts of joy.
The inhabitants then fled, mostly into their homesteads, but were caught by gunmen and put into groups. Several groups were executed on the spot, including wounded people left for dead who tried to flee. Babies died on the backs of their executed mothers. The carnage lasted more than 6 hours before the soldiers left the village for Dingiri.
Well, for more, let's cross to Rome. Ilaria Allegrozzi is Sahel senior researcher at Human Rights Watch. Thank you for speaking with us here on France 24.
Thank you for inviting me.
Your organization calling for an independent inquiry after Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, pointing towards the role of the army. What more evidence have you found?
Well, we spoke with survivors of the massacre and people who managed to escape karma after what happened, and also with people who buried the 147 bodies in 4 mass graves. And their accounts were absolutely chilling. Survivors said that soldiers from the Burkina Faso army cordoned the village and rounded up people, executing them in groups. People were killed as they tried to escape, as they ran for cover, as they tried to hide in houses. And their accounts were absolutely shocking. Women who witnessed the executions of their husbands, children were killed on the backs of the mothers. We were shocked by these testimonies and by this massacre, which is definitely one of the worst since the conflict in Burkina Faso started in 2015.
And you spoke to three eyewitnesses in another town who said they saw members of the Rapid Response Force, the BIR, leaving that morning. Circumstantial evidence, or is there more on that?
Well, witness accounts were very clear. People said they had no doubt that those who carried out the massacre were soldiers from the Burkina Faso army. They recognized the uniforms. They saw the flag of Burkina Faso on their uniforms. They said that at the end of the operation, there was an helicopter, a military helicopter, flying over the village and following the convoy which was heading north towards other villages. And then we spoke with people in the capital city of the Yatenga province in Waiguya, who said they recognized members of the Rapid Intervention Battalion within the soldiers who were in this convoy heading to Karma early in the morning of April 20.
The army of Burkina Faso, which had the support of the people when a coup happened, saying that they had not been given the means to take on the insurgency. Why would soldiers shoot at their own people?
Well, survivors believed the massacre was in retaliation for attacks by jihadi groups against Burkina Faso troops and pro-government militias. Karma, in fact, is in an area which is controlled by armed separatists, armed Islamist groups, and they carry out attacks on civilians and also on armed forces. So the villagers believed the killings in Karma were in retaliation against villagers suspected of collaborating with or sympathizing for the armed groups.
Have you spoken with authorities in Ouagadougou?
We didn't, but we reviewed their statements, and we know that they announced that an investigation is underway, which I think is a first positive step. But I think these killings will be even more devastating if the promised investigation is not credible, is not independent, is not impartial, And I think to do so, the authorities should seek the assistance from their international partners, from the African Union, from the United Nations, to make sure that those responsible are held accountable, and to make sure these investigations result in prosecutions. And that's what the survivors are asking for. They were very clear: we want justice and the truth.
Is there a way to break this spiral? Because there have been killings, a lot of them by radical insurgents, the latest one happening in neighboring Benin, it seems. Is there a way to break this spiral right now?
Well, I think there's a climate of impunity prevailing in Burkina Faso for present and past abuses. And there has been very little progress with investigations into past atrocities by the security forces. And I think in order to break the cycle of violence and conflict, the authorities really need to address this impunity and to hold responsible for serious abuses accountable.
I want to thank you so much for joining us, Ilaria Allegrozzi from Rome.
Thank you.